It has been a really busy week, getting ready for a really busy weekend. I want to remind you that this weekend is Harvest Fellowship up in Weyburn. And so there are meetings, lessons going on Friday night, all day Saturday, Sunday morning. I'm doing a lesson on Saturday afternoon. Our camp's annual general meeting takes place at noon on Saturday at the church building in Weyburn. There's just lots going on there. If you have time to get there, I'd really encourage you to check it out. A reminder too that if you want to have dainties here that we can share and send up there, cookies and muffins and cakes and stuff for coffee times up there, if you want to take part in that, help in that way, you can drop that stuff off in the kitchen and Kelvin and Mary will take it up on Friday night. So that's what's happening this weekend. And so that added a big load to things for me this week. But in spite of that, I still had to get ready for Sunday. And here's what's happening on Sunday. In Bible study at 10 o'clock, we are continuing our study of Acts chapter 2. And we're going to look at the first gospel sermon. In Acts chapter 2, Peter stands up and he tells the people the history of what God has been up to for thousands of years and what happened when Jesus showed up. What happened when the one everyone was told to expect showed up and then you killed him? That was the point of his sermon. This sermon is really, really important for what it says, but more than that, it's really important for the effect it had on the people, and we want to talk about that. We're going to talk about how they made things right. We're going to talk about how we share the Word of God in a way that is useful. So all of that, it gets tied up into the first gospel sermon, Acts chapter 2. Go read ahead if you like. It'll be helpful when we come to study it. Then, in our sermon, the sermon is called, "There Are No Lazy Boys in Church." I made that statement last week as part of last week's sermon, and I'm using it as the title for this week because when Paul writes to the Ephesians church, he is very, 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 very clear that God has done everything to save us. We do not save ourselves. We cannot save ourselves. However, that does not mean there is nothing for us to do. In fact, the last half of the book of Ephesians is all instruction about what we should do, how we should live, what we should think about. In fact, the list is so long, it's almost overwhelming. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you two areas that you can look at, two areas in which you need to invest your energy if you're going to live a life that is responding well to the things of God. That's it. Two areas. Two things you can focus on. You'll be able to remember them. You'll be able to get to work right away. It'll be practical, useful, helpful. It'll change everything. There are no lazy boys in church. That's the sermon this week. I am really excited about my lesson for Harvest Fellowship on Saturday afternoon. That'll be recorded and stuff. We can share that later if you're not able to be there live. I'm really excited about the lessons on Sunday. I think they're going to be practical and useful. Bring a friend. We'll see you there.